What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my R&B review. The album I'm about to do today is Prince's 10th studio album, Lovesexy, released in 1988 on Paisley Park under Warner Brothers. By now you should know who Prince is. View a majority of his early albums, early to mid albums, as I should say. Yeah, singles I'm known for are Alphabet Street, Glam Slam, and I Wish You Heaven. Producers, of course, Prince produced everything. Personnel include Prince on lead vocals and instruments, Sheila E. on drums, backing vocals, Boney Boyer on keyboard backing vocals, Dr. Fink on keyboards, Mika Weaver on guitar, Levi Levi Cienza Levi Cienza Jr. on bass, Eric Lees on saxophone, dope musician, Atlanta Bliss on trumpet, Ingrid Chavez on spoken intro, Kat Glover, who's like the hype woman, like the rapper and stuff like that. Okay, before I start, I just want to say this is probably one of the most hardest reviews I've ever done on this channel, if not the hardest review, because my opinion might shock you or it might take you aback. But let me get you to the story, the synopsis of this album. Okay, so we're gonna go back to where I left off with the Black Album, which I felt like was a very dope project. Probably one of his most darkest efforts. Okay, so as I was mentioning, he did not release the Black Album as planned because he deemed it as evil, or he deemed it as like he thought he went a bit too far with it. So he recorded this album and stuff like that. He recorded this album for about it took him a month, I mean 7 weeks to record this album. So yeah, and he really called this his gospel album, as I should say. And this was basically a solo effort by Prince, but he had his band, of course, Sheila E., Eric Lees, and so on and so on. And by longtime fans, the band is now known as the Lovesexy Band. Now, the album was released in 1988, and here it is. Okay, so also, the earlier the earlier pressings of this album, it actually ran for like it only had like one track, and what was interesting was because all the songs off this album was combined into one track, so you can't really skip a track on it. I thought that was kind of unique for the time. And if you had like the vinyl, of course, it ran like four tracks on one side, four tracks on the other side. So yeah. Now, I can't talk about this album without talking about the cover. Of course, it was a controversial cover album cover at the time. From what I looked up, that they actually had to cover the album cover or cover his body and just leave his head there and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Take you inside the booklet. Like Prince right here. Of course, you have the lyrics, song lyrics on the album. Yeah. Okay, nothing really to show you there. So yeah, basically the theme of this whole album is basically a struggle between good and evil. He's struggling with his own conscience and stuff like that. So 9 songs. You guys should know how. You guys should know what I'm about to do. Okay, track number one. I know. Um, Pretty interesting song. That was like one of the few songs where it was like recorded with his full band and stuff like that. He actually reworked the song from an unreleased song off the Crystal Ball album called The Ball and stuff like that. I kind of see this song as like a Prince reintroducing himself after like his like rebirth and stuff like that. Pretty much sets the whole tone of the album. I like it. Um, Funky, it kind of has like a funky tone to it too. Yeah. Then we have one of my all-time favorite Prince songs, Alphabet Street. Very dope song right here. Classic song. I mean, one like it was like one I love the playful lyrics and stuff like that. Like he's kind of like braggadocio and things of that nature. I mean, I could have done without. I mean, I could have done without Cap's rap. It wasn't bad, but I feel like it wasn't really needed at the song, in my opinion. Other than that, pretty dope song right here. Yeah. Oh, and if you watch the video carefully, like in the beginning of the video, when he's like, talk so dirty, she want me from my head to my feet. If you really like pause it, like when he disappears, like the split screen, it has a message that says, "Don't buy the black album. I'm sorry," something like that. So yeah. Then we have Glam Slam, um, another song that features his full band all together. Basically, what I got from this song was, um, he meets his girl, and the girl basically uplifts him and stuff like that. So yeah, and at the same time, like it kind of has like some sexual themes towards the whole song, and that's another thing where I'll get into that once I give you my final words off this whole album. A little trivia though. I want to say, um, according to my sources I picked up, before the song was actually released, Prince actually regretted it because he didn't feel it was like a good second single, so he tried to stop the release, and he was unable to. So yeah, and so another thing what I liked about the song was like I think like once you listen to it, it then turns into like a full long funky breakdown and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought that was pretty dope, you know. Um, and yeah, another dope song from Lovesexy. Then we have Anastasia, which is my favorite song off this album and a lot of people's favorite song off this whole album. Um, Very dope song, sums up the whole theme of the whole album perfectly. Um, I love the fact like how it just builds up. The like song just builds up into something that's like so epic sounding and stuff like that. Two things I liked about the song that I don't see a lot of people giving credit for. I felt like the guitar, Prince's guitar on this song, add like a very sinister yet uplifting vibe towards, if that makes sense. And I also feel like underrated talker. I feel like it's probably one of his most underrated vocal, vocally dope songs ever. Like and stuff like that. So if you guys get what I'm saying. Then we have Dance On. Could have done without that song. Not a huge fan of that one. Love Sexy is the next song. That song was pretty okay. Um, it's like basically another like dance kind of track, but he's having a conversation with himself as a man and a woman, and he speeds up the vocals and slows it down and stuff like that. So I like very ahead of his time. Um, Very ahead of his time. I mean, he wasn't like the first artist to do, of course. Jimmy, of course, I mentioned Jimi Hendrix done it from Third Rock from the Sun off the All You Experience album. Yeah, but at the same time, it was like the way he did it was just only Prince can do it. That's all I'm saying. Then we have When Two On Love. I already talked about that song in the Black Album review. Check out that review if you want to hear my thoughts about it. Then we have I Wish You Heaven. Mm. Lyrically, it's a lyrically it's a dope song, but I'm not really into the song like many fans though. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good song, but I'm not really into it. I don't know. I felt like it was a bit too polished. I don't know. I just felt it was a bit too polished and things of that nature. Their last song, Positivity, self-explanatory. Nice way to end the album. Another underrated song. Um, Check out the Patti LaBelle and Prince live performance of the song. I'll post a link to that. You won't regret it. That's all I'm gonna say. A little trivia about that song though. There's actually another version of the song where as a rap by Cat, but at the same time, that rap was held over from Cindy C and stuff like that from the Black album. And but there was some controversy towards it because I was looking it up and they said like she kind of took it from this track from this dude named JM Silk and stuff like that. And once Prince found out, he just removed it from the time, just left it unreleased. So yeah, and also there's actually he actually gave the song to Mavis Staples too, off of his album The Voice and stuff like that. Yeah, if I find a link to that, I'll post a link to that too. And that's all the songs off this album. Okay, I got through the tracks. Let me get to the reaction. Okay, I gotta admit to you, when I first heard this album, I did not like it to be honest. I don't know. I felt it was a bit too polished. I felt it was. I was low key. I was disappointed because I wanted it to be. I wanted to have that funk as, Sign of the Times, Sign of the Times and stuff like that. I'm not gonna mention the Black album because I didn't hear the Black album then. So I was kind of like, okay, this album's a bit too polished. Um, I felt like it was too clean, but I admit I was young when I listened to it. But over the years, like it, I kind of did ignore it over years. But whenever you listen to his discography, I didn't notice that Parade, which is one of my top five favorite Prince albums, did kind of have its polishedness and stuff like that. So I gave Love Sexy a listen to a couple weeks, months ago, and I admit it's not as bad as I expected it to be, but it's still one of my least, well, not least, I won't say least favorite. It's not among my favorites, as many fans, many fans they love this album. Like it's like it has like a cult status towards it. They love this album. A lot of fans have called it his last great album. Stay tuned for that. A lot of fans have called it his like, of course, his gospel album. A lot of fans, even some fans, go as far as saying this is his best album. Cause like I noticed how lately that a lot of people have been liking this album a lot more lately, and I have to admit, the album did grow on me. It did grow on me. I do admit that. I did like the fact that he. I like the fact that he like combined his signature sexy kind of sound, but added like a little bit more, have more of a gospel tone to it, like more uplifting tone. Okay, he did do that before with like the Purple Rain, but it was used on fully, I believe, with this album, like with this theme of the album, and I feel like he did succeed in that. However, I noticed how there are some talks about this album kind of being self-indulgent because he did take back the Black album, but in a way, in a way, I do kind of understand. Looking back now, I do understand why he did it, and I do understand why he felt that way towards because listen to the Black album and listen to the rest of the albums of the discography. I do kind of understand why he kind of felt bothered by it because I feel like he kind of forced himself to record that whole album to get his like African American audience back. Whereas with this album, it's kind of like him, what, having his own. I mean, how can I put this? Himself, saying, "Hey, I'm not always about sex. I'm not always about like I'm not always that dude. Like I can make these meaningful songs too." So yeah, that's how I see it with this album. Other than that, um, I'm glad I actually did review this album. I'm actually glad, and yeah, Love Sexy, 1988. Must have in your collection. And stay tuned for more. Peace.